Right?
Ron, how you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. I've been screwed by Zoom before myself.
I got to tell you, I'm in total fan mode. I've been watching you since Beauty and the Beast. It's an honor to finally interview you, sir.
Well, thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
All right, so let's jump in with Absolution because the film took me by surprise. It had a lot more drama and character development than was expected. So, why did you want to play Charlie Connor opposite Liam Neeson?
The last thing you said, Liam Neeson. I mean, he's one of those guys. If you have the opportunity and the regard that I have for him, um, that's all you got to do is hear the name. There's a Liam Neeson movie that's looking for an actor, and we're sending the script your way. And I said, no, no, not necessary. Don't bother. Just make the deal. Tell me where and when. I'll catch up on the other details later on. But to be in the presence of that guy with that filmography and with that kind of professional mantle that he has so well created and so well walked in through life, it's an honor to be in the presence of that kind of thing.
That's a great answer. In fact, I absolutely adore Liam as well, and he was also great talking about the film. But you two are so esteemed and so venerated in your craft. It's kind of like watching these two great heavyweight boxers on screen together. Talk about establishing that charisma, that chemistry. I mean, did you guys rehearse the opening scene where Charlie meets the thug? At the furniture store is so beautifully acted. Talk about developing that.
I mean, every moment I got to interact with Liam's character was a gift. Um, the Hans Peter Moland, who directed the film, is one of these guys who is a big fan of sitting around at the table and reading through the scenes. So the very first time Liam and I were together was in a setting like that. And between reading the scenes, the three of us, old codgers, talked about life and love and marriages and divorces and what medications we're on, because we're both doing this for north of 50 years. And by the time we made it to the set, we had such a foundation under us, not only of the world in which we were navigating, but also this mutual appreciation for the fact that God put us both in the same place in the same movie under the guidance of somebody who Liam had worked with Hans, and I was just getting to know him, and I just got to find out how seriously he takes his craft, which is also not something that's you can take for granted anymore these days. Takes it seriously enough to spend a lot of time doing the preparatory part of it, which is rare. Most of the time, you walk onto the set, you start acting, and there's no foundation at all. So by the time Liam and I hit the set, we had a real kind of a working relationship as humans and as characters.
The thing that I found so fascinating about Charlie, right, is because in your previous roles you're such a badass and you dominate the screen, but Charlie isn't like an overtly threatening gangster. He's not the guy that's going to be holding a gun to your head. He's really like a puppet master manipulator. And the scenes where you're with Liam, kind of calling out his illness and his memory problems, you're seeing a guy who's not going to be threatening you in a very direct way, but very underhanded and surreptitious. So I was surprised by that character arc. Was that what made you like the character in Tony Gayton's script, that it was so different than expected?
I'm always fascinated by the psychology that makes somebody make the choices that he makes. And if there's an opportunity to immerse yourself in that, and then the world that you see this guy operating in is informed by all of these human concerns he has. Like, the big thing about Charlie is he knows he's got way more years behind him than he has in front of him. he's got this son who would love to be able to walk in his shoes. He's not really sure the kid has what it takes. He's got this friendship with this guy who calls himself Thug, who that friendship is longer than anything else that he has in his life, including his relationship with his son. So those are the things that are working on all of the dynamics that happen in all of the scenes. You know, he's running this crime syndicate, but everything is like depending on like we're not the guys we used to be, bro. Are you okay? You know, I'm a little worried about these little things I'm noticing about times and places and memories and this and that. And I got this kid who I'm hoping you can show the ropes to, but can you? And on top of that, we're doing this caper movie where the caper is part of the thing, but the caper is only dependent on all of these human aspects. And that's a place that I like to be as an actor is where the humanity and the idiosyncrasies of these people's lives are the tail that's wagging the dog.
Great answer. All right, so let's flip that on the other side, right? Because I was shocked that you never even see Charlie holding a gun. So was there ever a part of you that wanted to go to Hans and said, hey, maybe we should make this guy a little bit more tough, have him hold a gun or do something physical? Did that ever come up?
I prefer to stay away from all the tropes, and all of the easy little prop things that one depends on to describe who the guy is. I prefer to just, if I'm doing my job right, you're going to see who the guy is without me having to depend on, um, too much of one ingredient in the recipe, like overly bravado, overly macho, overly obsessed with showing everybody his power by the gun and all of the other paraphernalia that might describe the guy. If I'm doing my job properly, you don't really need any of that stuff to know who the guy is.
Ah, bravo. That's a great answer. All right, so we have a massive fan base for you. So a lot of people are interested in what you're doing, what you've done. And so I guess my first question in that regard is you've got this great history with Guillermo del Toro, and I was surprised to not see you in the upcoming Frankenstein. I would have thought you would have been like the 100% guaranteed Frankenstein. So was there a reason why you're not on that project? Were you busy doing something else?
I know that Guillermo's always going to get the best people for what his vision kind of tells him is needed. And I know I would have been in Frankenstein if he thought that I was the best guy for one of the roles. So I'm very okay with the fact that I'm not in this one, and I hope and pray that there's something else for us down the road, because that is a venerable old relationship that has yielded tremendous amounts of not only credits but joy and laughter and memory. And I tell everybody I wish every actor that I love and admire had a Guillermo del Toro in their lives, because he and I now have like 7 credits together. But it's not necessarily the credits, but it's the laughs and the hugs and the experiences and the meals and everything that we've gone through together. So I'm hoping that we find a way to keep that going until the lights go out, baby.
Man, that's a great answer. All right, so I guess a couple quick before they give me the wrap notice. One of the things I've always been fascinated about you and your career is that you're known for so many things. You're in Hellboy, you're in Blade, you're in Beauty and the Beast, which I watched as a kid and absolutely loved. So I'm wondering, which one of these great characters do you look back and go, man, I really enjoyed that one? Is it something like, that we don't know, or is it one of the more popular ones? What do you have for our audience?
Well, everything you mentioned is like, if I had just done that one and then nothing else, I'd be way ahead of the game. But the fact that there were that many characters that I went, holy shit, that was like, oh man, that was trippy. To play the Hunchback in Name of the Rose, that was trippy. To play the Beast in the first ever fantasy primetime show on 8 o'clock Friday nights on CBS, that was trippy. Um, I had a production company for about 5 or 6 years called Winging a Prayer Pictures, and I produced about 9 movies. And the first one we identified was called Asher, and it was actually the last movie we produced. It was the movie that killed the company. But I have to point to that as something that no one saw, but that I know what it took to get it mounted and how close we came to executing the movie kind of how I read it when I first read it, and why I was attracted to it. So if you get a chance, I think it's playing on Amazon Prime. It's called Asher. Like I said, if you see it, you might be one of the only ones on the planet who does. But I'm quietly very proud of the fact that we pushed that boulder up the hill, and it turned out kind of almost as I hoped and imagined it would.
Awesome answer, Ron. Like I said, I'm a big fan. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in many other films.
Thank you for your time and your kind words, my brother.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers.